What if I told you that poop could be a superhero? Meet Herbie Allen, a man whose lifelong dedication to health not only gave him the title Perfect Poop Guy, but also saved his wife's life through one of medicine's most surprising procedures. Today, we're sitting down with Herbie to unpack his incredible journey. Let's start at the beginning. How does someone become the perfect poop guy?
What I'm here to do for you is to start making videos for your questions to tell you how I obtained perfect poop. That's what I'm here to tell you. Why I don't get sick. I know it's hard to believe. I don't know what getting sick is. Thank goodness. Thank you so much that I am blessed that way. And probably because the food that I eat and foods that I don't eat is why I don't get sick like other people get sick. What I do know is what I'm going to tell you is what makes me the way that I am. And maybe you can follow some of the things that I do. And I hope that you'll start having better health down the line. And again, when you do follow anything that I say, please do it in moderation. Don't go, okay, I'm going to jump all in right away. No. I tell everybody, do it in moderation. I've been doing this for 60 years. It's a way of life. I would not think of anything else. You know, I mean, all the years that I went to barbecues and they would say after the end of the barbecue, Herbie, how do you like the steak? How do you like the hamburger? How were the hot dogs? Oh my God almighty. I would always say the same thing. Oh, they're great. Oh, are you kidding me? Compliments to your chef. They're the best. But here's the thing. Of all the years I've done it, nobody ever followed me around the picnic, the barbecue. Nobody ever saw what I ate. Nobody ever cared. The only thing I've ever ate for 60 years is a lettuce. That's all I've ever had is lettuce. I never had your hot dog. I would never eat a hot dog. And again, people love hot dogs. Go ahead. And do what you want. But again, in moderation. You know what I'm saying? Try to do some of the things that I'm telling you and see if you don't start feeling better and say, you know, I got to start following Herbie and learn the proper foods that we should eat and maybe leading you to better health. One of the things that I do want to tell you, people say to me, it's funny, people come up to me and they got so many questions to ask me. And I want to tell you one thing. No matter how silly the question is, there's not a question at all that's ever silly to me because I know it's important to you. So I'll always answer it that way. No matter how I feel about it, I'll always answer your question because I know it's very important to you. That's why you ask me. So there's never a silly question, ever. That you want to get a hold of me, I don't know, you text me, whatever you do on the internet. I'll answer your questions. I want to lead you to a better health, a better life. But there's never such thing as a silly question. We're having dinner one time at a gourmet restaurant. I'm not going to say where. I'm having my usual salad and my iced tea, you know, with no sugar and all that kind of stuff. And I saw these people on the side. I love doing this. Going, you know who that is? You know who that is? A lot of times people will bring me up on their phone, which I kind of like it. I have to tell you. All of a sudden, at my age, I become somebody. It's like, oh my goodness, do you know who that is? So a gentleman walked up to me after sitting over there, having their dinner. He walked up to me, and I saw them looking at me. And he walked up to me, and again, he showed me an ID. Again, I was told by my lawyer, I can't mention names, I can't do none of this, which is fine. I don't want to get into that anyway. But he showed me an ID, a surgeon out of the University of Penn. I said, whoa, that's pretty neat. You know, that's really neat. He says, I got one question to ask you. I said, really? He said, no, I know who you are. I'm in the field, but I just have one question to ask you, and I apologize to your group that I come up and all that. I said, no, doc, whatever. No, any kind of question. And I'm saying to myself, what kind of question could he ask? Because doctors, for some reason, they always ask me, and again, I'm going to tell you the truth. I always start out with, what is my bathroom habits? I understand that. That's what I would ask too in my field. And I'm going to tell you real quick. And I always say everything. If I don't go to number 2 or poop by 10 o'clock, I'm not going to go. End of story. I go to the next day. That's the way I am. I only go at my house there in my bathroom. If it's not by 10 a.m., I don't take a poop. No, I don't take a poop. And no, so many people ask me how many times you get up during the night. I get up 0. And I feel sorry for you guys that have to get up 3 or 4, 6 times a night. I get up 0 times a night. But if I don't take a poop, I don't poop until the next day. So this doctor says to me, he's standing there. I'm looking at him, very distinguished man. And he says to me, I just have one question to ask you. I said, well, what's that, doc? Whatever. He says, I want to know. He says, when you defecate. Now, I'm telling you the truth. I changed that word. Because I talked to other doctors, and they said, Herbie, you should change that word. Oh, okay. I changed the word. So I said poop, but he said defecate. But I changed it. So he says, when you poop, he says, how many times do you wipe yourself? I said to myself, cheese and crackers? I can't believe it. He's asking me this. A guy at the University of, but it doesn't matter. He says, how many times do you wipe yourself when you poop? That's all I want to know. I said, Doc? He said, yeah, please. I said, Doc, this is how many times? Once. Only ever once. He looked at me and says, you're the real deal. You are the real deal. Anything but that, I wouldn't believe anything. He says, anybody that has your gift only has to wipe themselves once because you snip it out. I was like, I'm having dinner and he's telling me this. That's why I'm telling you, though. But it was just like, you never know the kind of questions that you're going to get. He says, when your poop comes, it snips. So you should never have to wipe yourself more than once. So I want to tell you, it's an honor to meet you. He says, thank you. He says, and I'm in your field. He says, the work that you do and all, he says, it's admirable. He says, thank you so much. I said, Doc, thank you. Here's my card. I got business cards. If you ever have a question, I can help you. Please always let me know. I'm always here for that. But that's a question that I got from, doctor. The questions that I get are just absolutely amazing when people come up. But again, I'm going to say this one more time. Whatever question you have, please ask it. There's never a silly question to me because I know that question is very important to you. That's why you're asking it. So I will answer it in the best way that I know how and give you a true statement on what you ask me on your question. I will always do that.